Vidhammer Fantasy.
Welcome back to Vidhammer. I'm Spudlow, and in this video I'm going over the painting of some rat swarms I decided to put together after making my Hell Pit Abomination. Sticking with the same motif, I've decided to make them out of all the spare stuff I had left over, and start out by having a couple of movement trays glued together, which I sand off the edges to make it look a little more like an actual base. Then I go with some nice hot glue to stick a bunch of these little rats on my little plate that I put together. I honestly have no idea where I got all these rats from, but I had a sack with about 100 of these things, so what better purpose than to put them together and try to make something that looks like this. This is one I already had put together, and making a video as I do the second one, trying to make the basing and the general motif and color scheme look much like the Hell Pit Abomination already does. I start off painting the rats some individual colors, starting with Scorched Brown, and then moving into Scrag Brown for a couple of others, some Vestigore Flesh, then Eshin Grey for a couple of others, then some Valor Brown, and even Talon Flesh for one of the ones up front. I found it easiest to paint all of the rats first and go about the basing afterwards, since some of it's going to be grass, and as I go through the brushing process it would flow into it. Touch up with some Talon Flesh for the faces and the tails to make those stand out a little bit, as well as the feet and hands, as I do a little bit later on. Then there's some Rotting Flesh to cover some straps that go across this gray one in the middle. Try and make it stand out a little bit. Then I go ahead and start off some basing, putting a couple of large rocks in there, some which don't really want to go where they want to go. After that, I take about half of the base and go ahead and put some medium and small size gravel in there. With that done, I come back with a generous portion of Agrax Earthshade to shade both the gravel parts and the rats themselves. To do a little touch-up work and detail for the rats, I use bleach bone and try to get as much of the teeth as I can. Then I come back with Evil Sun Scarlet to do the eyes, and to do an initial coating of these small pockmarks that they have. Then I use Emperor's Children as a pink to do a highlight over the top of them. A little bleach bone for some spines, and some bolt gun metal for a stabbing spike that this one in front has. Then I come back with Scorched Brown to do a dry brush of the texture, the gravel terrain. And then I use a little bit of Vestigore Flesh to highlight just a couple of areas before going back over with the white glue and putting in some simple Citadel's green grass. Since there's a lot of little nooks and crannies, I actually use my brush to push the grass down into the bases to get it into all the cracks and get it underneath the rats and everything. And that's it. Quick and simple on this one. Hope you like the rats, and until next time, keep painting.